Hey guys, so in this video we're going to look at a problem that one student ran into and they asked about it in class. So this is actually super difficult and would not be something I would teach this year usually, but because they asked about it, maybe some people will find this cool to try to do. So I've got a website here. I added a couple of HTML elements, just a paragraph and an H1, which you can see on the screen here. I gave some basic styling to my paragraph here, so it has a light green background. I set the width of the paragraph to be a certain width, and I centered it. So you might be looking at this and going, well, what's the problem? It looks cool, you know, it looks good. Well, the problem is this. If I open my web page in full screen, it looks great. I've got that paragraph centered with the auto margins around it. Looks cool. The problem is on the small screen, my paragraph is way too wide. I have to scroll left and right to read it. And if you think about like an iPhone screen or something like that, this is probably going to look terrible on that. So you can actually get a preview of what it looks like on an iPhone screen. And the way you can actually see what it looks like on an iPhone screen is you go to the main screen here. You go here, more tools, developer tools. And you can actually change the device that you're looking at it on. Oh, sorry, it probably didn't pop up like this. It probably popped up like this for you. If you click this little device toolbar right down here, you can actually change the device that you're looking on here. So maybe I'll go to iPhone X and I'll project it at 100% the size of an iPhone X, or maybe 150. All right, so we start running into problems where on an iPhone this is not going to be a very pleasant browsing experience, whether the text is too small. But basically what this hints at is this idea of, and to exit this menu, you just close this bar down here and we'll take you back to the main page. What you get at is kind of emphasized here with this small screen doesn't look too good. This big screen looks pretty good. So what you can do is you can have different CSS styles that are applied to different screen sizes. So in order to do that, we need to use a tool called a media query. So let's do that. So basically you set a main style. So this is my main style here. And then what you can do is you can set a special style here, which is, okay, well, if my screen is different than a certain size, how do I want to change this? So let me show you an example using color, because that one's easy to see, and then we can take a look at a different one. So I'm just basically copying and pasting this. So at only screen and max width dot dot 600 pixels semicolon. Oh no, it's not semicolon. Parentheses, curly parentheses. Okay, yeah. So that's this one and this one. All right, and what we can do is we can actually take a paragraph selector and put it inside of this media query. And what we'll do now is we'll make the background, instead of light green, let's make the background red. And let's see what happens. So here the background is red. And if I stretch this screen out, you'll notice that at a certain size, it becomes green. So what's happening here is basically this is the default style for a paragraph. And I can show you like this too. This is the default style for the paragraph. But when we take the screen, if we shrink it past a max width of 600 pixels, let's see what happens here. Past a max width of 600 pixels, it turns red. And the reason why is because all of this code basically means as long as the max width is less than 600 pixels, use this style instead of the green. So actually what we want to do here is it looks like maybe what we want is the paragraph to have a width of 1000. But if the page is smaller than 1000 pixels, if it's too small for the paragraph, then what we want to do is we want to make it red, and we also want to make the width equal to, say, just 100% of the screen, or 100, let's do 90% of the screen. All right, so here we go. You can see that here our screen is smaller than 1000 pixels, so it's going to go with the red background, and the width is 90% of the width of the screen. However, once we make this sufficiently large here, bigger than 1000 pixels, it's going to pop to green. Eventually, it's going to pop to green, and it's going to be 1000 pixels wide instead. And so websites do this quite a bit, and this is called a media query. So hopefully you found this video helpful, and the styles that you put in here will be applied when the screen is smaller than this max width. Otherwise, it will default to the ones outside. You can have many of these actually. So you could do another one like this. So let's say that when it's smaller than 500 pixels, we want the background to actually be blue, and we want the width to be, I don't know, 50%. This is going to look really bad. So here it must be smaller than 500 pixels. Between 500 and 1,000, it goes to the red one. And then when it's full size, it goes to the green one. And this will work when you pop it open in this main browser too, as well. Pretty cool. And I'm also kind of interested to see that if we go to that iPhone preview screen, clicking here, more tools, developer tools, we click this little device thing right here. On the iPhone, it's actually displaying it with a blue background. Let's see if we go to iPad, the red background, because it's a little wider of a screen, so it's actually in between these two breakpoints. And if we click this, it will be, okay, this is what it looks like on the main screen, and close out from the console here. This is what it looks like on the main screen, and it's green because it's a full width. All right, so that's called a media query. Hope that was helpful.